ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Verily all praise is due to Allah. We praise Him, seek His help and ask for His forgiveness. We seek refuge in Allah from the evil in ourselves and from our sinful deeds. Whosoever Allah guides, no one can mislead. And whosoever Allah allows to stray, no one can guide. And I bear witness that there's none worthy of worship except Allah. He's one, having no partners. And I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is His servant and messenger. To proceed, verily the truest speech is the book of Allah. And the best guidance is the guidance of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And the worst of affairs are the newly invented matters in religion. And every newly invented matter in religion is a heresy. And every heresy leads us astray. And everything that leads us astray leads to the hellfire. Allah tells us in the Quran, after saying, A'udhu billahi minash shaitan rajim, Allah tells us, Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat lin-nas, ta'maruna bil-ma'rufi wa tanhawna 'anil munkar. وَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ. Allah tells us that you, meaning the Muslim Ummah, you are the best nation produced as an example for mankind. You enjoin the good, you forbid the evil, and you believe in Allah. This verse we've heard many times. And obviously Allah is informing us that we are the best of nation for a reason and for many wisdoms. But today we want to just really concentrate on one wisdom. When Allah tells us that we are the best, what is one of the benefits or one of our responses that we should have? And that is that when we find out that when we have this khayriyah, then we should strive to stay the best, to be amongst the best, and to strive for ihsan. As the Prophet says, Inna Allah katab al-ihsana ala kulli shay. That Allah has written for us our MO, or our mode of operation, is that we always strive to excel and to be the best. And that's already our mentality. Many of you are here at Texas A&M because you understand that you're trying to be the best. Many of you are here in America because you are trying to be the best. And this is what Islam is all about, being the best in all aspects of life. And for this reason we find that Allah tells, that the Prophet ﷺ tells us in a plethora of hadith, in an abundance amount of hadith, how to be the best. خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ تَعَلَّمَ الْقُرْآنَ وَعَلَّمَ. The best of you the one who did to do this, to learn the Quran and teach it to others. The best of you are the ones who have the best character. The best of you are the ones in your family. The best of you are this. The Prophet is always instructing us how to be the best. And you find also the companions are always asking how to be the best. So this should be our mentality. And when we hear كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ, it should remind us that the race is on. It should remind us of the theme of istiqamah. Because the Prophet ﷺ always used to ask for husn khatimah. Always used to ask for, or he instructed us or advised us to ask for a good ending. And he always used to make dua. Ya muqallib al-qulub, thabbit qalbi ala dinik. Always striving to have this istiqamah. Always striving to do the best and to be the best all the time. To be and to do your best at being the best. So this is no doubt one of the themes of Islam. And no doubt when we hear this verse, we shouldn't be arrogant, but we should be striving. Also, of course, it provides some comfort, especially in the day and age that we live in. But we don't want to talk about all those other wisdom. We just want to talk about this verse as a source of encouragement, as a source of making us want to do more, as a source of making us push ourselves to the limit and raise the bar. And obviously, this is what Islam is about. But I want to just mention one thing that we can do. One easy thing that everyone can do here in College Station, students, workers, faculty members, all of us. The Prophet ﷺ gives us in a hadith narrated by Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, we find, radiallahu anhu, that the Prophet ﷺ tells us how to be the best. And he tells us after he was asked, سئل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, he was asked, أي المسلمين أفضل? Look again at the hirs, or the way that the companions, this is our model, our example. They were always striving to be the best. And this is the way it is. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu and Umar ibn al-Khattab. And this is life. We compete in academics, we compete in careers, we compete in everything. Likewise, we should compete in this deen of trying to be the best. So he was asked, who are the best Muslims? And the Prophet answered. And the scary thing and amazing thing, the answer is always easy, almost. You think, who could be the best Muslim? Are they the ones who feed thousands of people? This is great. Or did he say they're the ones who pray all these rak'ah? He said, مَنْ سَلِمَ الْمُسْلِمُونَ مِنْ لِسَانِهِ وَيَدِهِ. Now, of course, it's in another hadith that these are the true Muslims, the ones whose tongue and hands the Muslims are safe from. Something easy. All you have to do to be the best is be the best at restraining your harm from people. And even in another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ signaled that this is sadaqah, that this is charity, and nothing is belittled in Islam. Just not harming the people is it's not something that's insignificant. It's not something that should be trivialized. If we do this, we can become the best of people. But we know that this is difficult. Seems like something so simple, but this is difficult. Just not harming the people that we supposedly love, the people that we supposedly say we're from them. But you look around in the world, all you see, and this shouldn't bring us down, but this should tell us that we have work to do. All you see is fighting, arguing, corruption, and all these things. It tells us that we are forgetting كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ. If we remember that, then you will see the reality would be different. Even we struggle with that here in America. And we see many times we have to have some police intervention when we forget in our masjid, not just in our business and whatever, in our masjid, when we forget about this verse. So we complain sometimes about the waqi', but let's remember this verse, and let's remember that we are supposed to be the best. And we are, but we have to make sure that we're from the best and compete with the best. So what makes this so difficult? Obviously, it is something that we hear over and over again. It is that you have to control your tongue. That's the first thing. سَلِمَ الْمُسْلِمُونَ مِنْ لِسَانِهِ. From your tongue. Controlling the tongue is not something easy to do. We talk about that even here. Think before you speak. The tongue is an amazingly damaging tool. The Prophet said that this is going to be the main cause, one of the two main things that enter people in hellfire. Most people will lose and be failures and enter hellfire because of a lack of control of their tongue and of their private parts. Likewise, the Prophet guaranteed us paradise if we can get control over this thing. And remember, even in the hadith of Mu'adh, the Prophet actually grabbed his tongue to show him the importance of the tongue and to demonstrate to us also, this was taken to us, that the tongue is something that we have to keep on our mind. And if we do this and we control our tongue, then we can begin to be of the best of people. Likewise, it's just not controlling our tongue, it's controlling our emotions so that we don't hurt the people physically. Controlling the anger is one of the most difficult things. The Prophet said, لَيْسَ الشَّدِيدُ بِالسُّرْعَةِ. The strong person is not the one who is the wrestler, not the one who can overcome people. Even though that is the strong person. إِنَّمَا الشَّدِيدُ. But the real strong person, the one who's really strong, refrain, الَّذِي يَمْلِكُ نَفْسَهُ عِنْدَ الْغَضَبِ. The one who can restrain his anger. So this hadith, to be the best of Muslims, again, all it requires is us not to hurt the people. Control our tongue and control our emotions. And we have to obviously be conscious of this all the time. So what are the dangers of not controlling our emotions, controlling our tongue? What is the danger of not being from the best of people, who are those who protect the Muslims from the damage of their harm of their tongue and hands? One is that the Prophet tells us in a very scary hadith that we all have heard. He tells us by starting off with a question to make you think, Man al-Muflis, who is the bankrupt? And the companions normally when they're asked a question, they say, Allah wa Rasuluhu a'lam. The Prophet Allah and his Prophet know best. But they knew that. The bankrupt person is the one without a dinar, without a dirham, without money or wealth. But the Prophet was saying, no, that's not what I'm getting at. The true one who is bankrupt. And we hear about the danger of bankrupt and how it's something that we want to stay away from. The Prophet telling the true person is bankrupt is the one who comes on the day of judgment with Sawm and Salah and all this ibadah. In essence, he was a practicing Muslim. Maybe like you and I. That's the scary thing. The bankrupt person is the one who is practicing, but he has ridiculed this person, chastised or insulted this person, taken this person's wealth without right, shed the blood, harmed the Muslims, harmed mankind in general. So all that khair that he did, all that good that he did, he loses it. You can have millions of hasanat and what have you, but because you didn't remember this hadith that al-Muslimun, the true Muslims are those who salim al-Muslimun min lisanihi wa yadihi, then you forfeit all of that good to those people you hurt. You're going to have to repay them. There's going to have to be retribution. The day of judgment is a day when there will be justice. And if you run out, then you have to take upon the evil or the sins of these people. And obviously we are aware of this, but we don't want to be in that situation. So this hadith tells us that there is great danger if we don't try to be from the best of people. Likewise, those we're told on Mondays and Thursdays, Allah forgives every Muslim except those Muslims who have forsaken one another, they have grudges against one another, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, leave them. Leave them until they reconcile. So you miss out. When you have this harm, this enmity, and you are fighting against one another. Likewise, living with this anger and malice and what have you, it's not a very good life. Even though I met people, subhanAllah, this is a scary thing. I'm sure you have met people, they get so used to it and they so envelop and consumed with this anger that they don't want to be anything else but angry. You say, I'm sorry. You say something, they just want to be angry. Trust me, I've dealt with many people, and in reality, even they will talk through it and say, yes, it's as if I don't want to let go of that anger, as if I don't want to let go of that grudge. You can do almost anything. So this is dangerous because you lose out in this world as well. So what about the reward of one who remembers that the Muslimun, the believers, are those who tongue and hand the believers and the Muslims are free from, meaning the harm, the Muslims are free from their harm. The reward is the hadith that we've heard so many times. I mean, in so many hadith parodies. But I want just to mention to you one of these very, very powerful hadith that should move us, even though we heard it so many times. And if you can move up to make room for those in the back. Remember when the Prophet ﷺ 3 days in a row was sitting with his companions, and he pointed out a man that was from the people of paradise. This person obviously had something special, even though he's not named, even though he was someone who's not from the kibar, the major companions to say. But the Prophet ﷺ only has specified a limited number of people in general by name, that this is a person from paradise. I mean, he will get paradise, or she. So 3 times. So no doubt it's significant. So Abdullah bin Amr radiallahu anhu went and accompanied this person for 3 days to find out this is the way they work. They wanted to be the best. This is what Muslims are. This is what they did. So he wanted to find out, what is he doing? Anyway, he said he spent 3 days. He didn't see a lot of shalom. He didn't see a lot of fasting. He didn't see him getting up and praying to Hajj. The only thing he said, he noticed that at night, if he woke up, he would say, he would mention Allah's name. That's about it. To the point where he's like, I was about to belittle this person. Like, man, he can't compare to what I'm doing. So he said, listen, the reason I spent these 3 days was because the Prophet pointed out that you would be, that you are a person of paradise. What are you doing? And what is, what? And he said, what you see is what I do. That's my routine. I didn't change anything. But he said, there's one thing that I do before I go to sleep, before the day is over, I make sure I don't have any malice, any rancor in my heart. He said, that's it. That's what you do that we struggle with. So this tells us that this is a companion talking. And this person was pointed out that we need to focus on this, and this tells us also that there's a great reward for that. Just working on your heart, getting all that malice, rancor, bad thoughts, get it out your heart. Don't belittle that. And that's a lot of work, and you don't really have to engage people. You don't have to do, all you have to do is reflect, think, and ask Allah to help you with that. Additionally, there are other ahadith, but because of a lack of time, we'll move, inshallah, in the second part of the khutbah. What are some of those things that can aid us? Amazingly, the things that I'm going to mention are simple things that we can do, but these simple things that each and every one of us can do will make us from the best of people, will make us successful, and will get us, inshallah, allow us to attain the pleasure of Allah. May Allah make us of those people who always strive to be the best of Muslims, who are always competing for the hasanat and the khair. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. To continue to just quickly recap, we mentioned that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, we hear it over and over again. Sometimes we even boast. Allah tells us, kuntum khayra ummah, that this ummah that comes at the very end is the best of nations, risen for as an example for people, for mankind. We enjoin the good, forbid the evil, and we believe in Allah. And Islam is all about excelling and being the best. And we hear that theme in our schools and our companies, and many of us, we have that motto. I know that's our motto. That's the reason that you're here. Many of us, we love to compete, and that's a wonderful thing. But life is a competition as well, and being from the best of mankind and competing even with the Muslim to be good and to is something that we should take advantage of. And a lot of times it's not. A lot of times even the one who does not have much status, much money, much of a lot of material things can compete with the ones who have it all, if we look at it that way. So one of the things that the Prophet was asked, which Muslims are the best? And he said that they are the ones whose tongue and hand the Muslims are protected from. So what are some of the things that we can do? One, very easy. We can think about إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ, that we are one unit, one brotherhood. And we should think about all these verses that encourages the love. If we really understand that, then why would we be hurting our fellow brothers and sisters with our tongue in hand? So this is one thing, and we'll just quickly mention that. Think about brotherhood. Think about that we're all on the same team, and that we are wanting to add value to society. We're wanting to do good, leave behind a good legacy, and we're working together. Number two is something that's very difficult, but we all know it very well. It's in the verse, وَلَا تَسْتَوِي الْحَسَنَةُ وَلَا السَّيِّئَةُ ادْفَعْ بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ فَإِذَا الَّذِي بَيْنَكَ وَبَيْنَهُ عَدَاوَةٌ كَأَنَّهُ وَلِيٌّ حَمِيدٌ. The good and the evil deeds are not alike. They're not the same. Repel evil with one which is better. That's difficult. That's basically biting the bullet. But if you do so, lo and behold, between you and the one who there was enmity, it will become as though he is not just your friend, but a bosom friend, your closest of friend. Did we not see that those people who came out in hatred just a few weeks ago, or a couple weeks ago, one person left with a hug? Billions of people saw it. Did we not see the guy who had profanity, even though he flip-flopped? Didn't you see that he basically said, I'm sorry, or I got you guys wrong? I mean, we see that. And I mean, there's so many examples of this that we've witnessed. This ayah, idfa billati hiya ahsan. If you do this, it's not easy. It requires biting the bullet and require, a lot of work. But if you do it, we see it. People who came out motivated with hate, organizers of it, changed their position. There's tons of stories, I'm sure that you've heard. So this is what we should do. And the Prophet's life is a legacy of this verse. So this is something that we should do. Also, of course, we know about Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, also in his forgiveness and what have you. And we should use this as well. Even the Prophet, before I move to the next 2 points very quickly, the Prophet was told by one of the companions that I have a relative, I'm trying to reach out to them, but they're cutting me off. I'm trying to partake in this silatul rahim, but they're the ones, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. The Prophet said, this is the silatul rahim. This is it. Sometimes it could be people who are harming us that are our relatives, our siblings, our closest people, but we don't respond in the light. We should repel evil with good. Again, another thing that we can do is simply apologize. Even though we may have hurt somebody and the hurt has happened, but apologize. It strengthens that brotherhood, and it goes a long way. And I mentioned that I had an incident with a brother happened 14 years ago. And I never really got over it. I mean, it was something that really hurt me. And I didn't like having this issue. 14 years later, he came and apologized. He said, my bad. And I was looking for that. And that changed this hostility to love. Now I make dua for him, happy for him. And I mean that seriously, because we were friends. That's how it happens always. We're friends, something happened, then you turn into like enemies, right? But an apology goes a long way. Even an apology 14 years old is still good enough. Make dua. Make dua that Allah removes this rancor. And the Prophet and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after praising the Muhajirin and the Ansar, tells us that the ones that come after them, they say, رَبَّنَا وَلَا تَجْعَلْ فِي قُلُوبِنَا غِلًّا لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا that we say, we ask Allah to not put any, or to remove and not to have any, that we don't have any malice or enmity for those who believe, because the believers or the Muslims are those whose tongue and hand the other Muslims are safe from. And also we have husna al-dhan. We have a good thought, and we give people the benefit of the doubt, or even more than the benefit of the doubt. There's a famous story of Talha ibn Abdurrahman ibn Auf, considered, this tabi'i considered one of the most generous of the Quraysh. So his wife said, man, your brothers are the worst of people. I haven't seen worse people than them. And he said, explain. He said, you know, when your wealth increased, they come around more. And they start hanging around, and they become, you know, close to us. And when your wealth decreases, their visitations and their hanging around us decreases. I mean, it's something that we all complain about. But this generous person, who's known to be one of the most generous of people from the Quraysh, he said, on the contrary. On the contrary, these are generous people. They come around when I'm strong and I can help and do well and help them out. And when I'm weak, or when I don't really have that ability to help, they don't burden me. Look at that mental way of looking at this. I mean, look at the mentality. Look how our examples, how we looked at things. And this is the way we should deal with people, especially our family members. We always give them a way out. And in conclusion, again, remember that we are the best of nations risen for people. If we provide that we are striving to be Muslims, we believe in Allah, we call to the good, we forbid the evil. And again, one of our ways, and the Prophet has given us many ways to get to paradise. He tells us if you do this, you do that, and he's given us many of the ways to be from the best. And one of the ways that we can be from the best doesn't require a lot of money, doesn't require a lot of status, doesn't require a lot of things. All it requires is that you don't harm the people that you say that you belong to. You don't harm the people. Safeguard the people from your tongue and your hands, the people who you love, you belong to, and that we make dua to. And may Allah allow us to be the best of people. And may Allah allow us to protect other Muslims from the harm of our tongue and ibadallah. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka hamidun majid. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين وأذل الشرك والمشركين ربنا اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.